Hey, welcome back to the channel, and Merry Christmas. Candy and I were just waiting for one last guest to arrive. Would you like to meet her? Great. To the workstation! So for this custom, I wanted to make a snowman doll, and I wanted her to be curvier, so I used a rainbow high body as the base. I did cut off her neck and use a monster high neck though, as I didn't want to use a rainbow high head. Even though the body did start out pretty curvy, I wanted her to be curvier, so I did the enhancements up top. After that, I painted the body a new color and started on her face. This is an apple white hat, and I thought I could get it to look nice. It also was very round, invoking the snowman's 3 tiers, being very round and all. I started with the initial blushing, making her look cold as if she'd been out in the snow. I wanted her eyes to resemble coal, hopefully making her look more like a snowman. So very dark black with only a hint of brown. I also wanted her to resemble Candy, last year's Christmas doll, so the eyes were more anime inspired. Her eyebrows were painted white and then later silvered. I also did the highlights in a light tan as opposed to white, and that looks better on darker complexions. For a final touch, I carefully placed glitter on her cheeks as if snow had just fallen onto her face. Every snowman needs a top hat. I took this Maddie Hatter Way Too Wonderland hat and used it as a base. I started by trimming the ornaments off and smoothing it down with a mix of Dremel, epoxy sculpt, and an X-Acto blade. After it was smooth enough, I covered it with a black knit fabric and hid all the bad spots on the back and with a red ribbon around the brim. Last accessory before clothes. I want her to have gloves. So I wrapped her hands with red yarn and then flocked her hands, being careful to make sure her thumbs were defined. Finally, onto the clothes. I started with a fluffy fur coat, fur being harvested from an old teddy bear. It's a very cheap way to get fur. So I made a basic vest shape and hemmed the edges with a mix of sewing, fire, and hot glue. I sewed the Velcro on the front as a closure and 3 black buttons for decoration. Next was a sweater dress that looked like with a turtleneck. It was relatively easy. I just pinned it on her and cut and sewed it until it looked right. I did the sleeves brown before sewing them on. Off screen, I made a belt with an epoxy buckle and a ribbon. I then made the shoes. First, I made a cast of her foot by wrapping the shoe in cling film and taped it up, then wrapped in paper mache. I made a slit down the back of the shoe so I could take them off of the doll. I then wrapped them in a red fabric, made the heel a little foam and hot glue, and put the same white fur on the top of her boot. Finally, onto hair. She really starts to look like Candy at this point. I tried to add more gray in her hair to differentiate her, but it barely shows up. I just gave her a basic bob with a flip inwards. Dress her up, and then onto the final photos. Meet Neve. This is an Irish name with some correlation to snow. I thought it sounded really pretty. This process was really fun. Hopefully next year I won't make a doll with white hair, otherwise this lineup will get really repetitive. Have a happy holiday. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!